So I've already done a video on Zap Dragon, but I'm going to try to explain a couple different details that I think a lot of people in my clan are not understanding. Now for this attack, once again, we're going to be using, for your first step, you're going to use your heroes and your spells. Combined, to be safe, they should be able to take out 3 air defenses. If you can do this, then you're all set. There will be exceptions to this that have to do with pathing, however. Now, after that, you're going to use your Electro Dragon and some dragons to finish setting your funnel. And when you do this, you want to keep in mind what buildings your heroes and your spells left behind, because that is going to determine where you want to send your dragons. Obviously, you want to come from behind the sweepers in your next step, but you're going to be deploying your dragons to take out the rest of the base. And I recommend always bringing a rage if possible, unless you see a good opportunity to use those lightnings for good extra value. The rage, however, is going to be able to take out the CC more easily, especially if you have high level accounts donating high level troops like Electro Dragons in the CC. It was a pretty clean plan. Now, I wanted to take out this queen, and just a note, the spells I used to take out this queen are enough to kill out a max queen, okay? So she walks around, and when she comes here, I'm going to hit her with 3 lightnings right there, and then when she comes back around, I hit her with 3 more. But in the process, I also, while she's doing that, just not to waste time, I zap out this sweeper and this air defense. And then as soon as she comes over here, 1, 2, 3, boom, I take her out, her altar, and the cannon, and then I drop a earthquake to cover all of these, okay? And then I drop my Electro Dragon over here, and he's going to take out a whole lot of the base, because the only threat to him is this archer tower. Though 2 Teslas pop up, Teslas are not an issue for Electro Dragons, because as long as his chains can get to them, he'll take them out. And then I use my queen over here, because remember, these 2 are gone, and then I use my queen to take out all of this stuff. And then I just have to use 1 or 2 dragons to help finish my funnel, and then I have a super clean path. So we'll get right into this. And we'll see, I'm waiting for my queen to go here, and I'll speed it up. Boom. Okay, I'll pause it. You see there's plenty of time left, like 30 seconds left. So she's low on health, but I don't waste time. As you can see, the spell's already dropped over here. Those 3 are down. And then I wait for her to come over here, and boom, I finish her off. If that's a max queen, then that max queen is gone as well. And I finish that area off with the quake, and then I start my Electro Dragon over here with the loon, just in case there is a random seeking air mine. And then, of course, I put my queen here. I don't have my king for this attack because this is CWL, and in my clan, I run CWL for clans for accounts without heroes. And as you can see, my Electro Dragon is getting a lot of value. And he's going to take a 3rd air targeting defense. Now, as you can see over here, this is a really clean funnel, right? So my dragons have nowhere to go except for right down the middle, okay? And of course there are ground expos on this, which makes it even better. Now remember, if you are going to encounter an E-Dragon without a rage, then you need to have enough dragons take it out. A big group of dragon takes any more than 2 shots, then they're going to be very, very frail, okay? Like Charmander on a rainy day. Now we just have, it looks like 3 air targeting defenses, so I'm just going to speed this up, and my dragons are just going to kind of sweep through the rest of it nice and easy. So for the second replay, we're going to be hitting a 100% max base, okay? And someone had already failed on this, so this is a cleanup attack, so I know where all the Teslas are. And even though I have low heroes, I'm going to walk you through the hero phase here, okay? So as you can see, we have that air defense on the corner. Now the reason I use my Sui heroes to get that one, it's all the way out on the corner, nice and exposed, so it is the easiest one to get. But the one thing that may not be obvious to those of you who are more new to this attack is that the CC is really far. As you can see, the CC radius doesn't go anywhere near that area, which is perfect because I know that my heroes can not only clear that side of the funnel, but also take out that air defense without pulling the CC troops. So the next step I'm going to be moving on to is using the Electro Dragon. We can already see that my heroes are going to clear some buildings up on up at 12 there. Now if you look at the bottom here, after I zap this building, and by the way I use the 3 lightnings and the quake is just to soften up the 2 wizard towers and the expo. As you know, wizard towers and expos have a relatively high amount of hit points. Now I go over here, I'm going to be zapping out those buildings, okay? Now that those 3 defenses are down, I have a nice narrow path through the middle, and it's going to get narrower because I'm going to put my Electro Dragon down at 3. With my heroes creating the funnel over at 12, my dragons can now come in from 130. Now you may be thinking,
well, you're not charging the air defense. You should charge the air defense.
Okay, yes, that's right, but I also don't want to go straight into the air sweeper. Now, given the funnel is so nice and narrow, I know that I can use a rage right in the middle around that CC and speed the dragons into that last air defense. Plus I have that freeze on the back end to help them do that. And not to mention, my Electro Dragon is going to get an enormous amount of value clearing buildings at 3 and then making his way down south. Down south, the buildings you can't see right now, there is a decent amount of chain value, and my Electro Dragon is going to clear that whole area, making it impossible for my dragons to drift down south. So 3 or 4 of my dragons are going to end up on that air defense. Once these buildings at 3 are cleared, we have a nice path down the middle, okay? So all I have to do is cut off some buildings there. Now once my Archer Queen gets that air defense, I will essentially have cut off the funnel over there, and now my Electro Dragon is going to cut off the buildings on this side and then work his way down south. And if you look at the buildings down there at 6, there's a decent amount of chain value there, okay? We get to the dragon deployment, and I've dropped most of my dragons on the south side there, but you see I also dropped 2 dragons on that cannon because that cannon is dangerously close to the buildings up north where I do not want my dragons to go. So I cut off that cannon, and now all my dragons are safely going in the same direction right down the middle. As soon as I encounter the queen, which also happens to be where there are a bunch of high hit point structures like the CC and the expos, I'm going to hit that rage, and I get a lot of value out of that rage. And as soon as I get to the end, that's where the freeze comes in, okay? If you have 1 or 2 extra spell slots after you already have the rage for the dragons, I recommend using the freeze. Now you can use a rage on the Electro Dragon at some points, but not in this particular base. It wouldn't have been very good, okay? So, as you can see, at least 8 or 9 of my dragons survived there against this fully maxed base. I wanted to show this replay because Rambo is someone who I like to think I kind of taught how to use this strategy, but he's made one key improvement to my strategy, okay? So first of all, he sees the flaw of 2 air defenses close enough to zap. Now I want you to look closely at his zap value here, because there is a blatant mistake. So far, he has used 1 level 9 lightning and 1 level 6. Now, as you can see, there's very little health left on the air sweeper, and what he could have done is use a quake to finish off the air sweeper and also soften the 2 archer towers that are going to be left up. So with the same amount of spells he could have had those archer towers down. Unfortunately, he misses that opportunity because he uses 1 of the lightnings to finish off the air sweeper instead of that quake. But anyways, he still gets this really nicely, and the main improvement he makes upon my strategy is he likes to use spells and sacrifice the rage to take out the 3 air defenses in the beginning. But then he holds on to his heroes and then uses his heroes to help his dragons push through the last part of the base, and it's brilliant. But anyways, as you can see here, the queen has already been hit by a chain because she's surrounded by a bunch of high hit point structures. She's already been hit twice, and now she ends up on the end of another chain. So she gets hit 3 times by the Electro Dragon's chain. So anytime you see that, a whole bunch of chain value surrounding the Archer Queen, definitely consider using the Electro Dragon. A lot of times I hear people bragging that their base is un-3-starable because they were in competitive and no one in competitive could take out their base. Well, the thing in competitive is you can't use bowlers and Electro Dragon, so that just doesn't apply in regular wars. But anyways, this is the point where he uses his heroes. So his dragons thin out a little bit, and that Tesla farm pops up on the end. Now, without his heroes there to help, that Tesla farm can do a lot of damage to the 2 remaining dragons there. But he brings his heroes in, and the barbarians, from the Barbarian King's ability, help to assist the air and ground targeting troops. And Rambo does this pretty often, and he has a really good hit rate. So I just wanted to show that different style of attack from another attacker who has taken my videos and made a nice adjustment. So just remember to mind your steps, right? After step 1, you should have only one air defense left. And most of the time you should be charging that air defense. Now, if you have 2 air defenses left, or the air defense is on the other side, you better have a plan for it, whether it's back-end loons, which I didn't show in this video, or you just have a really crystal clear path and a freeze spell or 2, okay? So you need to have a plan for every air defense in this attack. If you don't, it's really not as simple as just zapping 2 air defenses and going in. You have to have your funnel. You have to try your best to fight the air sweepers as little as possible. As long as you do those things, you follow the steps, you mind your pathing and your funnel, you should be able to 3-star most max Town Hall 9 bases comfortably. I hope you got some extra details out of this video. Some details that I did not put in my last Zap Dragon, and I do use this a lot, so there will be more coming out. If you liked it, hit the like. If you want to see the videos as they come out, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you stay up to date on my videos. And if you don't hit all the buttons, well,